case. Well, we want to get you some more on one of those top stories for you now, and that is the reaction to the expulsion of the Iranian ambassador over those two anti-Semitic attacks in Australia. Alex Ryvchin is the co-chief executive of the Executive Council of Australian Jewry, and he joins us from Sydney. Alex, welcome back to News Breakfast.
Thank you. Good morning.
So there's been a lot of speculation about who could have been behind these attacks for some time. Indeed, there was even the suggestion that it could be overseas actors. Were you surprised, though, when the news did come yesterday?
I can't say I was surprised. We heard from the very outset of this investigation that the police were looking at active lines of inquiry leading overseas. And the minute that the overseas component was brought in, the prime suspect became the Iranian regime. This is a regime that not only subjugates its own people, but it projects its terror throughout the Middle East using its proxy forces and has a history of carrying out devastating terrorist attacks against Jewish targets all throughout the world. So there was no surprise, really. But also, you know, it still brought us a great degree of shock to know now definitively that this regime, which is responsible for so much misery and bloodshed, that is capable of such atrocities, honed in on our Australian Jewish community and committed attacks on Australian soil. It's a very disturbing thing to learn, and having spoken to the owners of one of the businesses that was targeted, they found no comfort in this. They were really rattled by this revelation.
The Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, says ASIO has essentially traced the whole supply chain, as he called it, from the people who are actually carrying out the attacks to the people who are sort of plotting, planning and commissioning this kind of thing. Does it make you feel better that the Iranian ambassador is going to be expelled along with other diplomats? Is that the right message?
It is, certainly, and any disruption and any blow to the Iranian regime, I think, is extremely important to national security and peace globally, really, given what this regime has done and its capacity to commit acts of evil throughout the world and destabilize countries. This is what the IRGC does, and that's what they're there for. You know, we've been calling for the IRGC to be listed as a terrorist organization for years. Their nefarious influence throughout the world has been known. And with the Iranian ambassador, we saw immediately after October 7 his praising of those attacks, his attempts personally to destabilize our society by pitting community against community and using various inciting language. So I think this is the right move, and we'll welcome it and thank the Australian government for it. Ultimately, it's a question of security, and clearly ASIO has determined that it's in the best interest of Australian security that these people be pushed out of the country and sanctioned, and I think that's a positive development.
We'll have the opportunity to ask the Home Affairs Minister about this in just a moment, but have you received any personal assurances that the people that did this sort of thing are either behind bars or have been arrested or charged, or that they're not in the country anymore?
We haven't received those assurances, and I understand that that's still a matter that's being investigated, and that's a question that's really burning through the minds of the Jewish community. We want to know, is there still an ongoing risk to Australian life? Are these people still in the country? How did they get here to begin with? Was this done using homegrown or domestic activists? Or did people come from abroad to carry out these attacks and leave? I think there are a lot of questions that need to be answered, but we have great faith in ASIO and the AFP that they will work through this methodically and get us the answers that will bring calm and comfort throughout the community.
Just before I let you go, on a slightly different topic, the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu lashed out at the Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese last week. Your organisation was not particularly comfortable with this. What do you worry those comments did to the bilateral relationship between Australia and Israel?
We were certainly concerned that with the tit-for-tat that was taking place, and there were some comments by the Minister for Home Affairs in reply, we were fearful that the visa system in this country was being politicised in a punitive manner against Israel. So we were concerned by both sides and the actions that were being taken. But I feel like these revelations about the Iranian regime carrying out attacks on domestic soil here will bring a great deal of perspective and will show what's really at stake here. There's so much to be gained from this relationship in terms of intelligence sharing and security to keep us all safe. We have common enemies. It's become abundantly clear that the enemies of Israel are the enemies of Australia. So I really hope that the leaders of both countries can put the diplomatic issues behind them and move forward productively for the good of both peoples, because there is so much to be gained and so much to be lost if we fail.
All right. Alex Ryvchin, we do appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you so much.